Hey everyone, this is Sanjay here. This is my Netrunner rotation guide. I really wanted to do this in one take, but I found out that there was some wrong information the first time I recorded this, so this is take two. How's it going? So this guide, the point of it is to help you understand the upcoming rotation that's going to happen with System Gateway and System Update. Here's what we're going to be covering, both what cards exist even, and what has happened in the past, in past rotations. And then the big thing is what we're going to gain, what we're going to lose when System Gateway, System Update comes out. And also, so I want to share some cool resources that you can use to help get a sense of all these of rotation, and then just talking a little bit at the end about future rotations. I did want to have a disclaimer here, which is that I don't work for Nisei. Nothing that I'm saying is an official Nisei proclamation in any way. That's especially important for when I'm going to talk about like what I think is going to happen in future rotations. A lot of this is based on stuff that Nisei has said or suggested, but not based on official announcements. And hopefully this is my last take, but if there are other errors, please let me know. Get at me at these different places, or wherever if you saw this video someplace, you know, I'm all over the place. Anyway, so here's what Netrunner cards are out there. Besides the ones made for the original CCG, which the rules aren't totally lined up with what we got. There's core sets, there's cycles, there's deluxe expansions, and then there's weird stuff that doesn't really fit into any of those boxes. Um, when the first rotation came around, it's kind of a big deal. What they did is they rotated the first core set, and they brought in the first core set, and when they did that, they got rid of the first two cycles and the old core set. And so the new core set was sort of made of cards from those previous sets. And so that rotation did this. It got rid of the core set and got rid of these first two cycles. And so this is what I think. There was actually a Worlds with this, more or less. Um, they might have been missing a few cycles from Red Sands. Not totally sure. The second rotation happened when FFG, they weren't able to continue the game, and the game now lives under Nisei's control, auspices, guidance, shepherding. And the first rotation that Nisei did was when they put out their core set, and with that core set, they rotated the old core, and they rotated Terminal Directive, which is kind of a weird box. And what they said in that announcement was that it made a lot of sense to make the system core out of the cards from Terminal Directive that they wanted to save. And so that rotated not a lot of stuff. The original plan was for them to also rotate the most recent cycle and the most recent deluxe, but they ended up not doing that. They ended up wanting to wait for their own cycle, Ashes, to come out. And so then after the full Ashes came out, so after Downfall, the second half of Ashes came out, they did end up rotating the oldest cycle and the oldest deluxe, like they said they were going to do. Uh, so that got rid of Creation Control and got rid of the Lunar Cycle. One thing to minorly note for these deluxe expansions, FFG had said something like they had planned not to rotate them, and it was a nice opportunity for Nisei um, to look at at shifting the card pool away from these deluxe expansions. So in the past, if you hadn't really been following the game for a while, these deluxe expansions also are fair game for rotation. And that brings us all to the present day. The next rotation. What are we gonna get? What we're gonna get is we're gonna get System Gateway, which is new cards plus Sure Gamble and Hedge Fund. It includes the System Gateway Starter and the System Gateway Deck Building expansion, which together is 3 of all the new cards in System Gateway. And then also system update, which is old cards that both they want as the first new cards that, the second new cards that they want a new player to take a look at after System Gateway, but then also cards that they want to protect from rotation. So if you're a new player, this sort of thing is like, hey, welcome to Netrunner, check this out, and then check this out. What are we going to lose? So kind of the same as before. We're going to lose the oldest core set, which is System Core 2019, Nisei's first core set. We're going to lose the oldest cycle. We're going to lose the oldest deluxe, and we're going to lose the Salvage Memories pack. That was the sort of like booster thing Nisei put out to sort of tide us over while we were waiting for System Gateway. So we're going to lose those, which looks like this. So the oldest cycle we'll have is Moonbod. The oldest deluxe we'll have is Order and Chaos. We'll lose Honor and Profit. We'll lose Sansan. We'll lose System Core 2019. And of course, we'll lose Salvage Memories. So that is what rotation is, more or less. Now, that's a lot to keep track of, and there are a few tools I wanted to point you towards to help you with understanding rotation. The first one is if you are on Netrunner DB, which is a very good website for deck building, navigating your collection. If you are on Netrunner DB, like so, one of the very nice resources for managing your collection and managing rotation, and this is also really useful if you happen to be somebody who is playing with an incomplete card pool, like maybe you and your friend are just, you just enjoy, you picked up some packs and that's just what you're enjoying playing. The collection tab can be really nice for just browsing, for just figuring out what's legal and what's not. There's a current card pool button you can click that auto selects all the cards. When System Gateway comes out, those cards are going to be added to Nisei pretty soon. There's a lot of coordination between people who run NetRunnerDB and Nisei now, which is awesome. I think Nisei people even run NetRunnerDB, which is really great. But basically, if I say, hey, I want to build with Genesis, I'll click Genesis, and then all of a sudden I can see cool Genesis cards like I don't know, Cortez chip. And then, if you're like, actually, let's not have that. So that's a nice resource. Another really good resource is this thing that Reality Check put together. This is Reality Check works for Nisei, and this guide, it has 3 different sections. It has the overall cards. This is just, hey, what's up with each individual card? This is especially good if you're trying to go through your own collection, trying to figure, add this, add that. This is probably also a good guide to use if you have been involved in the game but you're coming back. This is kind of a good way to sort of like figure out where the heck you are. If you have been following the game the whole time, you can also use these 2 tabs. That makes it a little easier, which it's like, this is what's coming, this is what's leaving, and this is what's coming in. Of course, also coming in are all the cards in System Gateway, but those are going to be new cards. These cards are just what we're going to have from System Update, which is the old cards. Those are 2 really good tools. If you look at the video description for this YouTube video, you can find a link to this slideshow, which has the links to these tools. Yeah, so also, the Nisei website is pretty functional now. It's pretty good. And here is where the information lives. Products, exactly what you'd expect the info on Gateway and Update to be. There's some information about what rotation happens. I didn't put it here, but also if you look at players and formats, that section tells you about what is currently standard. I imagine that'll be updated once Gateway comes out. So those are some good links too. Now let's also talk about, just briefly, what is going to happen next. So um, we have a pretty good idea, I think, from things that Nisei people have said, though not not like big Nisei proclamations or announcements, that the next rotation we get, we're going to rotate uh, the oldest cycle, which is Mumbad, and Order and Chaos. That's likely going to happen when they release the next cycle, which is called Bashes. So this is what that would look like. So we'd lose Order and Chaos, and we'd lose Mumbad, but we'd gain so-called Bashes. Um, Now, that's assuming nothing changes, or yeah. Um, there is a bunch of stuff, that is still a little bit of a question, which is that pattern going to keep on going? After Bashes, is the next thing going to rotate, say, Flashpoint and Data and Destiny? Also, what's up with Magnum Opus? That's the cards like Border Control and Slot Machine and Timely Public Release. How long are we going to have that for? Unclear. Uh, are we going to have more weird stuff that doesn't really fit in any of these boxes? Not a cycle, not a deluxe expansion, not a core set. And then also, when are we going to have the next core set? Because I think the intention for System Gateway is that it's going to be a good gateway to Netrunner for years to come, but at some point it might be um, in need of a refresh. When's that going to happen? I don't know. And of course, the other thing about that might change the card pool is changes to the ban list. Those also could happen. And yeah, so that is rotation in a nutshell. The big point for that we have coming up is that we are losing the oldest core set, the oldest cycle, the oldest deluxe, and salvage memories, and we are getting gateway and update. Please let me know if I've made any egregious errors that need to be fixed. I'd like to not record this video again, but I'd be happy to make some annotations or maybe record the video again if I goofed up big enough. All right, goodbye.